All right, guys, it is 8:58, and today is the 28th of January, 2021. Welcome to Diamond Ethical, where wealth is born of character. So today we'll be talking about merchant cash advance program overview that we just rolled out. And so the question goes, what is merchant cash advance? A merchant cash advance, or MCA, it's the way it's described. People usually call it an MCA. Well, it is technically not a loan, but it is a cash advance based upon the credit card sales of a business. So this is pertinent to certain industries versus others. So merchant cash advance will work only on few industries and will now work on, most other industries. Okay. So a small business can apply for an MCA and have an advance deposited directly into its account fairly quickly. And we're talking about under 72 hours, sometimes even 24 hours, right? Now, these merchant cash advances are daily and weekly repayments, debited directly from the merchant's cash bank account system. So the funds are advanced securely, via direct access to the merchant bank account. And their paybacks are typically between 20 to 40% of the borrowed amount. So it's pretty high if you compare it to percentage wise, because percentages are annualized. So if you want to compare a merchant cash advance rate to a percentage rate, you see that a percentage rate is calculated based on the 12-month period or 365-day period. But a merchant cash advance rate is usually within a small period, a short period of time, like sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 8 months, and very, very rarely it is 12-month period. But it's calculated within that period, and you will see what I mean. I'll give you an example. So how does a merchant cash advance work? Well, an agreement is made between the small business owner and the MCA provider regarding the advance amount, the payback amount, the holdback amount, and the term of the advance. In other words, how they're going to pay it back, right? And how long is it going to take for them to pay it back? Now, once this agreement is made, the advance is quickly transferred to the business's bank account. Now, it has to be a business bank account, guys. It is not a personal bank account. Now, when the money is transferred, it is transferred in exchange for future percentage of the company's credit card receipts. So remember, it works on certain companies and it doesn't work on other companies. There are different sources of capital. This is just one of the source of capital that we just rolled out. So it's going to help you make money a lot faster, guys. That's why we rolled it out for you guys. You get paid in 7 days. Versus, our access to capital program, which pays you in about 30, 45 days out. So what is the first step? They submit the MCA application or merchant cash advance application. They get approved in about 72 hours. They get funded, like literally after that. So then it takes us a couple more days for us to get you paid directly, or direct deposited into your bank account. So once they get the money, they can use the money to grow their business, do whatever. They can use the money for marketing. They can use the money for working capital, whatever they want to do, payroll, anything at all, construction, new real estate, whatever it is they want to do with it, they can do it. They can do with the money. So that's the good thing about merchant cash advance, because certain sources of capital are very specific. If you get a real estate investment type of funding, it's just, you're gonna have to use it only for real estate. You cannot use it for anything else. But with merchant cash advance, you can use it for anything you want to do. So the repayment and loan cost. Well, a business that uses merchant cash advance, it will typically pay about 20% to 40%. We say percent so you can understand it, but it's called something different. Well, they usually pay about 20 to 40%. Now, this is what it's called a factor rate. With merchant cash advance, it is not a loan, so they structure it differently, and it's called a factor rate, not an interest rate, the way you pay it back. So what is a factor rate? Those are specific to business funding, obviously, and they're less common than annual percentage rates, which you guys know already about APRs, right? Now, these are incorporated. The APRs are incorporated with the interest rate and fees associated with the loan. So merchant cash advance, they're called, their payback terms are called factor rates, okay? So those factor rates are also called buy rates. So here's the typical example of how to understand a merchant cash advance. So someone, let's say, is borrowing a $10,000 merchant cash advance loan or whatever. Sometimes you call it MCA loan, but it's not a loan, okay? Technically, it's not a loan. So let's say someone is borrowing $10,000 of an advance, a cash advance. Their payback could be 1.25, which is called the factor rate. So in other words, at the end, they will pay back $12,500, which means they're paying back an extra $2,500. And now remember, the term could be determined between 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. Usually, it does not last longer than that. Very rarely you see one that extends to 12 months, and extremely rarely you see one that extends to 24 months or something like that. But typically the lenders, because remember, it's a daily deduction from their bank account. The daily deduction, they have weekly deductions. So they if any, they extremely rarely have monthly deductions. But so the money they pay back is, if they say they're paying it back in 6 months and they're paying back $1,250 or $12,500 in 6 months period, it's gonna be broken down into 180 days. So 12,500 will be divided into 180 days. How much is gonna be deducted from their account? Well, I'm saying approximately 180 days because they usually don't calculate weekends sometimes. But if they do calculate weekends, so it's gonna be 180 days. So divide 12,500 by 180 days that you see. Approximately how much will be deducted from their bank account. Remember, they're lending you the cash advance in exchange for future rewards from your credit card sales. That's why it works on certain industries and it does not work on others. Okay, it's a niche based type of funding or source of capital. So at least the client will know upfront, this is how much I'm going to pay back straight up. So and usually they don't have an early repayment package, so you have to wait till the whole time. Well, you can work it out with the lender. We can work it out. It just depends on how much is being borrowed. So the rates for merchant cash advance can be much higher, obviously, like I said, than other types of financing, and the rates vary widely by provider. Now, one of the benefits of the merchant cash advance is obviously they will get the money in under like 72 hours. That is crazy good for most businesses, instead of going through the long process of qualifying for things. But there are criteria that they have to qualify for to get a merchant cash advance. So this type of financing does not, build your business credit, because your personal guarantee is not required. And the merchant cash advance providers do not report to business credit reporting agencies. So technically it's good, technically it's not. If you're looking for a type of or source of capital that wants business credit built by paying back whatever you borrow, then this is not the source of capital you need. So what are the funding criteria for merchant cash advance? Now, every merchant cash advance provider have different criteria, but this is generally what it is. There is a minimum gross monthly revenue required of at least $10,000 that needs to be coming into that business that is trying to borrow the cash advance. They need to have a minimum deposit of $10,000 monthly gross. We're not talking about net. Net, of course, it's important, but monthly gross has to be at least $10,000. They have to be at least 3 to 12 months in business. There has to be a minimum deposit of 6. So that, you remember, he has some industries that he works particularly with, Like the restaurant, we're gonna list some of the industries that it works with and list some industries that it doesn't. But if it's in a restaurant business, they have deposits coming in every day, every day, every day. So, but the requirement is that you need to have a minimum of 6 deposits every month, right? Or processing batches of 12. So there has to be no more than 6 negative balance days per month. There has to be no less than that per month. So we want to make sure that they don't have no sufficient funds when it comes to deducting the amount, right? Because sometimes some businesses do have that, the way they operate, money goes in and out, goes in and out, goes in and out, goes in so fast that sometimes they could accrue some negative balances before it gets replenished. So one of the criteria is they don't need to have more than 6 negative balance days per month. Okay. Now, the other thing is the submission requires a complete application versus our Access to Capital program. It doesn't really require an application. You just, submit the form and we enroll you in a program that takes 4 weeks. This one, just a simple application. They complete it. We get the ball rolling for them, okay? And they have to have they have to submit a minimum of 3 bank statements for 3 months. So 3 months back statement has to be submitted for merchant cash advance to process the application, and 3 months of processing statements. Now, this depends on the type of business because not every business has a processing statement type of thing. But if it's applicable in your type of industry, in the type of industry that is seeking the funds, then we will require them to submit at least 3 months of the processing statements. But remember, this type of funding is so fast, they could get funding in 72 hours once they submit everything we do. So if everything checks out, they will get funded so fast. So most businesses love that, but the cost of it is that they will have to pay a higher rate back and at a faster pace as well. So with merchant cash advance, there is no credit pool done on the client or the business. There is no personal guarantees required to secure this type of funding. Mostly the credit score required is like most of the time is like under 400 or 500. So it's not so essential. What is essential is the cash flow. So this is a cash flow type of financing, basically. You could say that. So what are the compensations for you guys as financial literacy educators or life insurance agents that submit a client? Well, you earn a base of 3.5%. We're using the percentage so you understand it. 3.5% of the payback amount. And you can go all the way to 5%. You can earn all the way to 5% if you submit a total of about $400,000 in funding amount in a month. So within that period, you get paid, instead of getting paid just 3.5%, you can imagine getting paid 400,000. Let's do the math, and you're getting paid 20 G's. And remember, it funds so fast, guys. In 7 days, you're getting funded. You're getting paid. So if you submit a total of about 400,000 worth of deals in a month, you're getting paid 5% of that, which is about 20 G's a month. You get paid fast in 7 days. So after that, if the client pays back the deal and comes back again, they call it a renewal, right? And seeks another tranche of capital, you get paid on that 2.25% up to 3%, which is amazing. You already did the job one time and you get paid again. That's amazing, right? So this is the beauty of this source of capital. It is much easier to qualify for, but it's a fewer number of people do qualify, or businesses do qualify for it. It's not really individuals that do qualify for it. It's not a startup capital type of financing. Nope. This is for people that have been in business for at least 3 to 12 months. Okay. So the minimum funding amount we do on this program, what we offer on this program, is $20,000. So $20,000, do the math. You're getting paid 3.5%. You're making So if you bring in a client that in 7 days, you're going to make about $700. in 7 days with $20,000 funded. They get funded in about 72 hours. You get paid in 7 days. How amazing is that? So the maximum for this type of finance is about 2 million. You rarely see people do go up to 2 million, because remember, the payback is expensive and they deduct it daily or weekly. Depends on the way we arrange it for them, right? But the minimum is 20,000. The maximum on this type, this type, is 2 million. The access to capital program can go as high as, whatever we want it to be. If they want billions, they can get that. So now if you enroll a client for the MCA funding amount of 50,000, you're making 1750 in 7 days. If you bring, and remember, like I said, you get paid fast. If you roll in 10 clients that need, remember, they have to fall within the criteria though, okay? They have to have a minimum of $10,000 deposits. They do not have to have more than 6 negative days per month. They need to be in business for at least 3 to 12 months. Things like they need to have a business bank account, extremely important. So let's say you enroll 10, you get paid $1,750 in about 7 days. That is phenomenal. So this is something that we just rolled out for you guys. It's extremely important for you to know the quivers, the arrows in your quiver now. You have so much that you can play around with, right? So these are the prohibited industries that we do not, have it. We don't want to do anything with them. We have the adult entertainment, the airlines. These are the industries that merchant cash advance wouldn't really work, they wouldn't work well with. So we call them prohibited industries. Adult entertainment, airlines, auto body shop. The auto body shops, sometimes we work with them, but they're extremely risky. Auto detailing, bail bond services, beauty products, check cashing, collection agencies, car sales, risky. Credit protection, risky because of the way the money comes in. It's not determinate. It's not like what's the word? Consistent. Cruise ships, dating escort services, direct multi-level marketing, fencing, fortune tellers. That's funny, right? People, you were surprised. Fortune teller is a business. Import, export, intangible products, legal services, marketing and advertising, moving companies, nail salons. Now, salons, we work with salons, but not all. The nail specifically is very risky, but like hairdressing, we can probably work with them. Online pharmaceuticals, pawn shops, real estate, security services, staffing and employment, timeshares, rental property, taxi services, ticket sales, travel agencies. So what are the industries we recommend that you guys work with? Bakery, very good. Pool services, very good. Repair stations, restaurants, extremely good. Retail, very good. Hotel businesses, very good as well. So how do you prospect for this type of financing? Very simple. Craigslist ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, USA Today ads. You could have also a landing page that you build an organic SEO on, so people can organically find you. This one takes longer, you guys already know, but the good thing about it is if you work it, build it over a period of time, organically people will find you, because Google will put you up on the search box or search engine, whatever they do. The last is cold calling. It works very well for this type of funding, because you're telling the client that we can get you funded in about 24 to 72 hours. And they're like, what? Yes, we can. So as long as you meet the criteria, which a personal guarantee is not one of them, you don't need to have a good credit. As long as you meet the criteria of cash flow coming into your business, you get funds, we send you the application, get started. You send us at least 3 months of business bank statements, 3 months of at least the processing statements. We get you going, you get your funding in 24 to 72 hours. So good. So cold calling works as well for it.